You can call me Para. I'm originally from Indonesia. I grew up in England. I came to Finland about 6 years ago to study masters in Oulu. Now I'm currently in Helsinki working in Marie 01, just inside the Finnish startup ecosystem. And on the side, I've been building my own tool, my own solution called OkeyLetsGo. And hopefully we can talk more and explore about that today.
Amazing. We'll be referring to another interview you made for Business Finland not too long ago. But before going into your tool, when you say you are at the heart of the Finnish startup ecosystem, like what does the heart look like? What is the heart of the Finnish startup ecosystem?
So in the human body, the heart is like the center of all things, right? And it's connected to all the important organs of the body. So in Maria, we have the startups, we have the investors, we have the corporate partners, we have service providers, and all around just awesome teams and founders. So basically everything startup related all under one roof. That's kind of why it's like the heart of the startup ecosystem.
You travel a lot yourself. When it comes to traveling to other startup hubs in the world, how do you feel this hub is maybe a bit different to the others, if anything?
So my recent kind of hub trip was to be in Amsterdam. So over there, it's much more larger, scale ups are there. And one thing I noticed is I attended both like an open event as well as meeting the team. And because of the sheer size, founders don't really know each other. While in here, they're either like direct connection or two connections away, and it's more of a close knit community. Of course, as you kind of scale and grow bigger, distance become larger. But I was basically talking in a group with 6 different companies, and I was like, "Oh, you guys are all based here. You should know each other." And they're like, "Nope, we just met each other for the first time." So I would say that's kind of the difference. And people here in Maria is a lot more engaged and more willing to kind of participate and give back to the community. I would say that's kind of the main differences.
Yeah. So more often than not, people are already acquainted from before, unlike in
Exactly.
other hubs. Okay,
Mhm.
that's a pretty good description. So going into your I just got into a LinkedIn conversation with an ex-colleague of mine who was judging side hustles. And then for
Mhm.
me, there is no thing as a side hustle. I think it's a very Finnish thing to think that you need to be all in each venture or each like main job you are. Anything is a side. Like I strongly believe that you wholeheartedly give everything you do what you got for the attention you are allowed to do so. So I wouldn't call okay, let's travel a side hustle, but a clear extension of who you are. So how did that get started and how do you feel about getting the venture started?
So as you mentioned before, I travel a lot. I've traveled to 50 countries around the world. So I always like I'm the planner in the group. I'm the one who kind of research where to go, what's the best flight, which hotel to stay at, what to do there, what restaurants to go to. So it took roughly around maybe 2, 3 days as an experienced planner for each of the destination. So only after 50 countries, I thought there has to be a better way to do this. I don't know. I don't want to waste all these days, but it's kind of, for me, it's part of the traveling as well to kind of pre-discover and kind of pre-select which highlighted experiences I want to have. Because when you're traveling, you have limited time and you don't need to plan out every single aspect. You can leave a portion of it to be those random encounters or random adventures. That's perfectly fine. But I think if you arrive in a place having absolutely no plan, you have this scrambling moment and you kind of waste time. So a little prep can go a long way. And that's how it initially began. Like I just wanted to plan better and faster, and that's all.
Yeah, so you basically just wanted a tool to do what you do, but a lot faster. And to continue the discussion, I'll share the screen here so the audience can follow. This is the landing page, right? So talking about building this tool, like this is all you, right? There's no other, you have some experience in coding before, but you told me that you basically vibe this whole thing, right?
Exactly. So my formal education is software engineering, but that was like 10 years ago. So I've not touched codes in a long, long time. And then last year around November, when Claude 3.5 was released to the public and this whole kind of vibe coding wave started, I was one of the early adopters. And I was just like, I was just curious, like pushing it to the limit, what it can actually do. To put it in kind of perspective, it's like if you have someone who can build stuff, and then you give them a power tool, then they can, their productivity just increases with the same amount of effort or even less effort. So that's kind of me. So I wouldn't say I'm 0% technical person, but yes, I vibe coded the whole thing and it's working. And I've encountered very interesting problems along the way, and it's been a very fun journey so far.
Amazing. So can you talk a bit about, before I start trying your tool here, what is your stack, right? When you're building. Can you talk a bit like when it comes to like building and product development, what is your stack and your process for like keeping things going and building stuff and reiterating and so on?
So I just began with what was the one core main function that it should do. So forget making it look pretty, making it look nice. It was basically I should be able to interact with an interface, and then it should spit out the end result of things to do, places to go, and food to eat. That was the basic thing. So I just did that on Gemini. So nothing to do with this whole thing that I built, but testing that core function and being able to get the result from that. That was the first thing. And then you kind of build, once the bone is there, and you start building the meat around and the packaging and everything else. But I think with most people who start building, they get too caught up in the kind of secondary stuff and forgetting about the main stuff.
Yeah, okay. Makes a lot of sense. Now if I go here and I've logged in basically once, I think here now, so it
Okay.
won't look it won't look I have 2 trips here, so I go try now. Okay, plan. So I get the plan. Where do I want to go? Where's home for you, Para? Home is
Okay.
Jakarta. Home, yeah. Or Helsinki. Jakarta to Helsinki. I might want to visit sometime. Jakarta, Indonesia. Here we go. Helsinki. Helsinki. There we go. I want to go next week's. Okay, next week. Return date. How does this work? I click here. What happens if I click more days?
You can
Oh, okay. I
try.
need to upgrade. Okay, I see. So sneaky, sneaky. Okay, return date, 5-day trips. Here we go. Uh, I want to go budget. I want to be active in Jakarta, beach, probably. So how have you chosen what categories to actually use, right? Because if I'm using like ChatGPT or Gemini and I'm prompting it to design something for me, like how did you
Mhm.
go about validating these as options? Like have you left
So
something out?
yeah, so I started with just 4 options, which is like the must-see sites, arts and culture, because there's museums. And what I did is when I launched it to kind of a close group of friends, they were the ones giving this feedback, like, hey, it'll be good if you
Mm.
have, by default nature and stuff like this. So I just launched it very bare bones and got user input to kind of add on to this. And that was basically my approach. Like the first version was very, very ugly, very, very simple. Instead of me trying to figure out what would the